Hey guys, I'm walking in this syntropic system, the first one we've established here 2.5 years ago, and I want to show you there's a crazy growth pulse that's been happening here since we've pruned. Don't know if you can see here, I'm going to switch the camera, but the plants are just regrowing really nicely, and a lot of the plants that have been pruned are responding super well to that. And we're in the middle of spring. We just had a good 20 millimeters of rain, and it's crazy. The regrowth is absolutely crazy. So let me show you that. So this is our system that was designed by a consultant, and this is an almond line with poplars in between as an emergent. We're gonna see how these go, but I think we're gonna keep irrigating for longer than what we wanted. We want to irrigate only the first 2 years, but poplars need a lot more water, so I hope to just maybe take out the irrigation after another 2 years, the time the poplars get established properly. But yeah, you can see here the almonds. Oh yeah, this branch, I wanted that branch to make a new framework branch with it because there was one missing, so that's cool. It's regrowing really good. I'm gonna take that one out, just by hand will do. But yeah, we pruned these myroporums here like a lot, but you can see there's already new shoots coming there. There's a lot of new buds coming strongly, so that's cool. They were flowering and all, so that's a good thing to be pruning them then. And then loads of biomass on the ground from that. We actually covered the entire lines with just that myroporum biomass, so that was really nice. And you can see everything's growing like a lot, like these almonds by seed as well. They've put on some new shoots. They put like 20-30 centimeters of new growth since we pruned. This ash here is incredible, same thing, just put up like 30 centimeters of new growth since the pruning. And that is really the result of a growth pulse, that I can really see that, and it's so satisfying to see. You see the plants growing like wonderfully. That's also the result of the mid-spring plus irrigation and plus rainfall that gives us that effect, and that's really nice to see. And these plants are going to recover really well, and then they're going to cover this entire system for us to have a massive management that's going to happen after the summer. So yeah, I can even see the trunks of some of these trees just growing wider already because of this. That's my impression, at least. And yeah, we can see so much vigor in the system. There's so much vigor. And yeah, look at that myroporum, how it responds. That's resprouting super fast. Wow, it's really satisfying to see. I also have the season for artichokes here. This is also one thing that I've learned with the design that this consultant made for us. It's super dense, and it actually doesn't make really sense for producing certain crops. For example, the artichokes, they're planted every meter, and in between there's a lot of plants, and we need to manage constantly or they end up being shaded. So what I would have done instead would have been to actually do a full line of artichokes there as a support line in between the production lines that have a 5-meter spacing in between. And that's what we're gonna do this coming year. In autumn, we're gonna plant at least one 300-meter line of artichokes in between our rows that we have up there, our almond rows. So yeah, I mean, you can see it's absolutely crazy. So you can see this is a really nice regrowth, and I love seeing these growth pulses like that. You really see them, you really feel it when you go into the system, that everything's recovering really well, and everything looks even healthier. So much lush green in here, and that's so nice to see. And I'm going to show you as well something that I'm very happy with is, you know, we have these olives here. They are like centenary olives that we pruned and then we planted in between. If I had to do it again, I wouldn't plant in between centenary olives, because it means you need to prune them a lot, and then now we have to wait 4 years for them to produce again, which doesn't make much sense in my view. Just to have some figs that are in between. You can see there's one right there, that's the fig, and this is the same massive growth pulse on it. This one has been stunted for a really long time. It hasn't been growing much. Figs are super slow, but now I can see a lot of new leaves coming up, and it's gonna start growing exponentially from here. So that I'm really happy with, because I just saw them not growing at all for 2 years, and I was like, what do we need? We need to water more. What do we need to do? And then I realized it's probably poor nursery stock. Like, look at that. Like, the fork starts at like 1.50 meters from the ground, which is really not nice. There's not many leaves. Like, this fig basically had only like 3 leaves when we planted it. And that we can see that the growth pulse that is going on there helps it really grow. And it will grow faster because of it. Look at all these almond shoots. It's insane. It's like some that's just 1 meter long, just from this year. And yeah, I'll show you the other fig too. Same thing is going on there. It looks much nicer now already. Yeah, look at that. That's fantastic. But yeah, again, as I was saying, I wouldn't do the same thing again of planting in between olive trees in the same line. It just would make sense to plant in between, but not there on the line itself, because it's a lot of work, and then you have to work around the trunks that are like absolutely massive. Like, look at that. Even for the irrigation pipe, we had to figure out a way to put it around through the olive tree and all that. So yeah, it's also sacrificing production for 4 years, so it doesn't make much sense. When the other olive trees that we harvested this year, the ones in the back over there, they produce a lot more. Like, they produced, some of them produced 100 kilos of olives for some of the biggest ones. And yeah, so good and well. And we also have to figure out a way when we harvest, are we going to put down these nets? And I think the only strategy that we have here is to cut down everything to the ground until where the branch reaches, which is going to give us a good trial on what plants regrow really well from being coppiced. That's super nice, but if you have to do that every 2 years, it doesn't make much sense. I would say that it'd be better to figure out a way of just using plants that we know are going to respond well, and yeah, rather than just like testing out from scratch, if you know what I mean. Also, we got these Grevillea robusta. That's going to be our emergent, and they're growing really nicely. I don't know if you saw the last video that I put up, the one about the syntropic lines we put up on the porous soil on site. And the Grevilleas are about the same size as these ones, which I really don't understand. I don't know if it has to do with the nursery stock, or it's just like the soil conditions that they prefer up there, but it wouldn't make any sense to me because I see it as a higher succession species. And I'm actually going to show you the soil, by the way, while I'm at it, so you can see how much it has improved. It's improved a lot. It's crazy. I mean, it's literally black in there, so let me show you. Look at that. Look at that. That's amazing. In 2.5 years, I was trying to dig deeper, and then I realized that the topsoil is like 10 centimeters in 2.5 years only. This is absolutely insane. That really shows you that these very intense systems with tree lines here can grow soil faster. That's true, but at the same time, they're going to be more expensive. You're going to need more irrigation pipe. You're going to need more management. You're going to have to manage these herbs maybe 3 times in the year. So for large-scale systems, it doesn't make as much sense. And only imagine a whole line like that just to plant 2 more figs in there. It doesn't really make sense, productively speaking. But, well, it's a good trial. In there, there's like 40 different species that have been planted, and it showed me everything I needed to know about which plants I should use and which plants I should restrain from using because it's too slow. And yeah, it gave me a really good feedback, this entire system. And walking through it now, seeing this growth pulse 2 years later is just amazing. Look at that eucalyptus, super nice. And these eucalyptus as well, we pruned them in October, and we left very little foliage on them, but like you can see, they're resprouting really nicely. I think this coming year we'll try to prune them in September, because that's when there's more heat and they should be answering even faster. But yeah, This is like just a support line that has artichokes in it. You see the artichokes popping up there, flower buds. But yeah, soon we're gonna have to do something here because it's starting to become a problem for the olives, and there might be too much shade next year, so we might have to figure out a way and thin out this line to allow more light onto here, because this is the north side and this side is more like the south side. So yeah, need to allow more light on the north side especially. And yeah, look at that. That's our hedge of tree seeds. We tried that out. The consultant calls that an X line. And basically what ended up happening here is that it looks like only the desert ash kind of made it. And you can see new shoots coming up there since I pruned. I just pruned that with a hedge trimmer. There's poplar there, but like most of it really is only ash. So this is quite nice, I must say. Something really cool to it. But obviously it demands more irrigation when you're doing everything by seed like that. So pretty cool to see. The ash by seed is amazing. I think in some of our more simplified systems, what we'll do is we'll put in some seeds after 2 to 3 years, and then hopefully they'll sprout and take over in succession. Although they're maybe not the most fitted emergent because they're very umbrella shaped, very bushy. So anyways, we'll see how these things go. Got a few carobs here and there as well, popping up. Judas tree here. Russian olive. Dietricha viscosa, just coming like that. And yeah, castor oil was in there as well. Didn't pop up everywhere. But anyway, we can see that these systems will definitely improve soil very fast. Even a casuarina by seed. Much faster than if you just do one line and if you space them out 5-6 meters. That's true. Soil's gonna go faster, but gotta take into account what production you're taking out of this. But yeah, who knows? This place here could potentially be a good veggie garden in the future, where you could just chop down all these support lines and then plant some veggies in between there, because the soil would have been much better by then. So that's pretty cool. I think that could work really well for a homestead, but for big, large production, doesn't make much sense. But imagine in 10 years we chop everything down here. Like imagine the amount of topsoil there must be in here. By that time, maybe we'll would have grown 1/2 meter of topsoil, maybe even more, and then we can grow veggies in there potentially. We'll see how that goes, but I think there's definitely some potential for such systems. But you got to be ready to intensively manage them more than other systems. So yeah, some pretty good feedback from planting this system. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you learned something valuable in here, and stay around for the next one.